Hello, this is Right Side Trader. Today is August 9th, 2025, and this is my weekly market review. We're reviewing the Russell 2000, that's IWM, on a quarterly chart, monthly chart, weekly chart, and a daily chart. This is all for educational purposes only, no trade recommendation, because as we all know, trading is risky. You can lose money at trading. So please check with your financial advisor. Please check with your significant other and make sure trading is something that is suitable for you. All right, let's jump over here to this quarterly chart and see what we see here. Boom, boom. All right, we still see green. That's good for the Russell. The Russell, again, it's above pivot. That's still good too. So again, we're still looking bullish. It didn't do what we kind of was looking at that it could do. But right now for the bulls, it definitely still looks good, and this thing looking like it's going to be fighting at this top for some time. That's the Russell. It's the Mack truck of indexes. It doesn't move that fast. All right, let's go down here to this monthly chart. And on this monthly chart, what we see, the crazy thing that we're looking at here on the Russell on this monthly chart, you see how this 9-10 moving average, that's this blue line right here. You see how it's kind of sloping down? That's not good at all. That lets you know that it's weak, in my opinion, when you see it like that. It's above it. And based on your trading plan and your trading strategy, yes, it is bullish. So, but you have to be kind of mindful of how this line here actually looks at this time. It's not a strong bull market. It's a bull market, but a very cautious bull market, in my opinion, at this time. But we are above the pivot. We did stay above my little zone that I said could be a good zone where this thing might have came in there, and I was expecting it to bounce out of there if it did go into that area. But we're still good there. So we've been on only the first weekend thing, so this is what we see at this time. But let's go ahead and go down to the weekly chart and see what we see there. On this weekly chart, this is where, just zoom in here a little bit right here. This is when we was looking last week. We had this big red candle, this big push down and all. And that's where I was kind of saying, okay, is this going to act as support or demand level and all? And this market jumped up out of here like right away. We ended up we gapped up a little bit because, again, we closed down here and we open up here. That's a small gap up. So that lets you know that this market was kind of like, okay, let's go up. But now here, this is a weekly chart. These are monthly pivots, these pivots here that we're looking at here on this chart. Oh, let me do it up here. Monthly pivots. Let's make sure you see that. So again, we are still underneath the pivot itself. We ended up pulling back and closing below that. But right now, the other thing that I see here on this weekly chart that's kind of interesting, this two candle pattern here is a bullish harami and all. So again, you would kind of, but that it's not really in the right location, but it is after a pullback. So can we get a candle like this and where the Russell can actually break some of these highs right here? The Russell made a pretty big candle going down. It has made some pretty big green candles going back up in the past. The thing is, can it make that big green candle to get up and out of this area like it has done before? We're going to be trying to see what's going to happen there and getting it back above pivot, and it has to get above this whole supply up here. That's the whole key. Can the Russell do that? Even though right now we can see that it did have a pretty good wick here this week. So let's see what happens here. But let's go ahead and go down to the daily noise and actually go ahead and wrap this on up. I did that again. Let me daily noise. I'll just maximize it here. And on the daily noise, it zoom in here. See, this is really daily noise and all. Again, last week we had this crazy gap down stuff here, the whole crazy doji here, and then come next. This is the last 5 days, this green candle here where we actually gapped up because we closed. You can see that we had got some demand and pushing back up there even on Friday, and then come Monday we ended up gapping up and then actually going higher, this green candle right here. And then the last 4 days of the week we've been stuck here in this little tight range here, the lows, and the Russell does this. The Russell does this. 218 to 222, 223, a $5 range. So again, that's the Russell, and that's where it's at. The Russell still, we have this whole supply stuff that's going on up here, and we got to see if the Russell going to be able to break that. The only thing that I can see come next week, we will be opening above pivot. Look like we should be opening above pivot, but based on the way I like looking at things, above pivot, stay above pivot. So again, we might get these lows, might get a little bit higher, and we might get a little bit higher high. But I kind of don't expect us to actually break, these highs here come next week. I expect we might churn a little bit up in here and eat up some of the supply, but I don't see all-time highs coming next week on the Russell. And that's pretty much it. That's all I really have to share here on the Russell. Hope you guys had a great week. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you next week. Right Side Trader here. Have a good one. Bye.